Hello guys, it's me, Hrothgar, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build this portcullis in Minecraft 1.8.1. As you can see, it raises, you can walk on through, then you can hit the lower button and it will lower it. You can also raise it on both sides and lower it on both sides. Now you may think that the redstone is beyond you, and it actually is very simple redstone. It isn't too complicated. You're going to need a lot of it, but it isn't too complex. It's really just a lot of wiring, but there aren't any special T flip-flop clocks or anything like that. The most special thing is just this way right here, but it's not that hard to wire. It took me about 30 minutes, and this was my first time building it. In this tutorial, I'm going to try and get it all done in 10 minutes. Also, I'm going to explain how it all works at the very end of this video if you want to check it out. But for those of you who just want to build it, that's what we're going to get onto right now. Okay guys, time to get onto the building. So I made this huge area here. It can be a little bit smaller than this, but I made it a bigger area for the sake of the tutorial so all of you can see and easily replicate what I'm doing. So the first step is to go 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks under the ground. So then this way you can place your pistons facing up and another row of pistons. Of course, the pistons will only be 4 blocks below the ground, but you should have a row here so you are able to place the pistons facing upward. So the next step is to put in the gravel. The gravel might break as we test this, depending on the timing, but just make sure to replace it at the end, and you should be good to go. Keep in mind that the bottom row is sticky pistons, and the top row is regular pistons. Now, it is time to wire this up. I'm going to be color coding it so all of you can see. Now, you can wire it this way, and this, so you're wiring it directly into the pistons, and this will work, but for the sake of the tutorial, I will be showing you how to wire it just 1 block lower, so you have plenty of room. So make sure you have a redstone repeater pointing into every single block, and now put wiring on the very back. Okay guys, now it's time to do the top layer of wiring. This one is a little bit more complicated because this is where most mistakes are made. Most people will wire right here and have them going directly into the piston. The problem is that these pistons will fire first and raise these pistons a block above. So instead, they will be where the first row of gravel is. So what we need to do in order to make sure this mistake is not made, raise it so it's covering the pistons, the top row of pistons. Next, place your repeaters down, and another line of redstone. Okay guys, after we've gotten this, it's time to cover this up, just that way so that we don't make any mistakes. I'm just doing 2 on each side to make it look a little bit more symmetrical, but it shouldn't matter in the long run. Next, we are going to wire this top row to this bottom row. So I'm going to go on this side. You can go on either side. It does not matter. I had a repeater right here. That way, you don't have to worry about the length of the or the power going to the redstone, because redstone can only travel 13 blocks. Next, I like to use glowstone. You can use stone slabs as well, like I did on my other build, but glowstone is a unique color and it allows me to keep track of what I'm doing clearly. And it also doesn't cut out the redstone signal. Now it's just test it to make sure everything is working just fine. As you can see, the top row fires, but since we have this repeater here, it will not hit this piece of glowstone. But that's okay, because we can do this. And as you can see, both of them fire. But, of course, this one doesn't pull it back down. But we can fix that. That's what we're going to do right now. Okay, guys. Now it's time to build the clock. This is actually really simple. And I've already laid out where the redstone needs to go. So the first step is going to be putting repeaters on. We're going to put on quite a few repeaters. That way there are no errors in the timing, so the gravel will never get destroyed. So I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 repeaters on max delay, and 1 repeater just regular delay. Next up, wire it back to the main circuit, and wire it to here. You can have it all wired to here, but I like it wired to the main circuit because sometimes lag can affect it if you have it running constantly. As you can see, they both fire, and then this one pulls down the repeaters, the pistons. So I'm going to show you this one more time from the other side. And then it pulls them down. And you'll notice that you still have the same amount of gravel. It didn't break. There we go. Okay, guys, I've just went ahead and I've built up 2 sidings and the Portcullis gate, which consists of 5 block tall thing of fences. Okay, now we have to place down sticky pistons and regular pistons. So the very top, I'm going to place a row so I can place down a row of sticky pistons that go where these blocks are, but you place down the row of blocks just so that way you can place it on the blocks. And now a row of regular pistons. There we go. And you'll notice that there's a 2 block space gap. This is because the gravel is also 2 blocks high, so the gravel will shoot up, and these need somewhere to go without pushing our pistons out of the way. Okay, guys, here we go. We're going to wire up both of these pistons. So what I like to do is you can put a row here, but for the tutorial, I'm going to build it level with. So I'm going to just get some new types of wool, and we're going to wire these ones up. So place a row on one of these sides next to the first row of sticky pistons. You can also do it on top, as I mentioned before. It's just personal preference, whether you want it to be a little bit more compact or a little bit taller. There we go. Now we're going to wire up the next row. Place down some of your wool, whatever block you choose. To the block. Okay, guys, it's time to make the wiring complete now by adding this row to this row. So I'm going to just use a different color of wool. And by the way, I also expanded these walls, so if it looks a little different, it's just a little bit larger. There we go. Now it should be wired, and we're going to have to place a repeater going into this block right here, just so that we can be sure that it reaches all the pistons. There we go. Now we can set up our wiring. Place a redstone on that one, and now we're going to wire this one down. You can use vertical wiring, but it has a bit more of a delay, and for a gate, the less delay you can have, the better. Okay, I'm wiring it down to about there, and this is where I'm going to stop these. We're going to split it on both ways once we figure out where we want the buttons to go. Wire up the button up here to this row here. It's easy to do. Just place your redstone here, and if you notice, by clicking on it, oops, one more down, it will fire it, and both of them will come shooting down. That is good. It didn't do anything because there's the fence is already at the bottom, but if we raised it, it would put the fences down. Now we have to wire it on this side. So I'm just going to expand this one. Oops. One more. So that way we can get the buttons on properly. Here we go. And as you'll notice, it'll shoot them both down. And it'll come back up. You don't have to worry about pulling this row of pistons back up to this row. Because it, unlike this one, there's nothing else it has to, it doesn't have to pull down. You'll see what I mean when I finally put it together. Okay, so just make sure it's working on both sides. There we go. And one last test on this side. There we go. Now it is time to wire up the bottom wiring. Alright guys, now it is time to wire the buttons that raise the portcullis. I've already gotten some of the pathway in place. We just have to finish it up. So, like before, one block lower than the button, and as you'll notice, hitting the button will fire the redstone, and it will do the same on this side. Here we go. I deleted the column right here on this side, just because it was a little bit in the way. Okay, here we go. Now just wire the redstone up together. It doesn't matter that they would cross paths. And you might need a repeater about right here. And you might need one more later on. So I'm going to place 2 down. And now I'm going to finish up the redstone. Just connect the redstone. And there we go. And you notice it'll raise it. And it'll pull them down. And now let's go on this side. Let's hit this button. And voila. And it's perfectly working on both sides. And just because you have this, watch. As I said earlier, the fences will push it back up. There we go. Now it's just time to pretty it up, as I did on the other side. Just build yourself your castle gate. I'm just going to simply cover up the pistons, and you can cover up your redstone wiring this way as well. There we go. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if this helped you. It would be really appreciated. It tells me that you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me if you have any other suggestions for tutorials in the comments section. Okay guys, as I promised, I'm going to show you how this works. If you don't want to know, just go ahead and just leave the video. But for those of you who want to know, here we go. So this button hits this redstone here, which takes the signal down here all the way back up to where we had the button before. The button was like this. So this makes the redstone hit these pistons here and makes them go up. And then because we have a little delay here, these ones go up a tick later. That shoots up the gravel 2 blocks tall. And then it'll push up the fences another 2 blocks, which is plenty of room for you to go and run through. Okay, so what is this clock here for? If you didn't have the clock, the gravel would stay 1 block higher just because these pistons don't get fired twice to pull down the row of pistons right behind here. These pistons, they would stay 1 block up, floating like the pistons that were up on the top. So we need this clock here, and the delay, you can change the delay a little bit to whatever you want. It was a little bit slow, so you can change the delay. I suggest always having at least 4 repeaters on maximum delay. That way, if you lag even a little bit, you should have plenty of room to, with a buffer. So as you can see, I'm just going to fire it right now. It'll fire on both, and it'll pull them down once again. So this adds the delay, which goes back up to these. And the trick with this is that this is enough blocks away, 13 blocks away, so that it'll power all of these redstone, but not this one. So it doesn't reach these ones up here as well. So it really is just dealing with how far redstone can travel. Okay, going back up to the top. This is a lot simpler than the one at the bottom. All it is just wiring this up to here, which will push these down. And since these ones have whittled away, it'll shoot them a second later. And it'll just move the pistons down too, which will push the fences down. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that this will help you build yourself your own castle.